That was the stuff of a Trump rally, and that was a first in our memory on the floor of the House chamber at the start of a State of the Union. With us here at the table, Cody Keenan. He rose through the ranks from campaign intern in Chicago to become the director of speechwriting in what became the Obama White House, writing backyard stump speeches and State of the Union addresses, everything in between. He remains the former president's chief speechwriter to this day. It's a bucket list speech. It's not your favorite undertaking, was the State of the Union, because elements of government line up to have their arguments made. As construction, how was tonight?
Tonight's it basically started out as a fact sheet that was bereft of facts, went into the gifts for all the voters he wants this year. And then they have this tendency at the end of the speech to just Google a bunch of historical things that happened in America and try to string them together. I mean, as a speechwriter, I'm in mourning for what I saw tonight.
Amelia Earhart got a rare shout out tonight.
I mean, so did Harriet Tubman, but this is also the president that kept her off the $20 bill. I mean, they need to be careful with who they're choosing here.
Oratorically, this guy couldn't be more different from the guy whose voice has been in your head for so many years.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the other things about this speech tonight is there was no story to it, no narrative, and President Trump really is all about him. It's me first, everybody else second. There's no sense of where we are in the broader sweep of American history, no sense of continuum to our story. It's just what's good for us right now.
As I said in the moments afterwards, when it went dark, it was dark for a State of the Union. This is a presidency that started out on American carnage.
Right. American carnage, and then you have a massive comeback, and then just half hour later, we're back in the darkness. And I think he sees that as a way to turn out his base, along with what I think was actually a really good case for Barack Obama's economy in the first 10 minutes.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.